This is going to be just a really short training video on contacts. My name is Darren. I am co-founder of Mpool, and you can follow me or ask me questions on Twitter at Darren Smith. So I think this is fairly obvious, but what exactly are we talking about when we speak about contacts? It's essentially your database made up of prospects, leads, marketing qualified leads, sales qualified leads, customers, employees, evangelists, and so on. And within this database is all the information you have about them, from their telephone number to their email address and whatever else you've asked them, as well as the history of what pages they've visited on your website, what social media links have they clicked on. This is obviously if you use in a system such as HubSpot. So I am giving you an example here of what can be done within a contact record within HubSpot. So first thing to remember is the primary field that identifies a contact from a different contact is the email address. So if somebody enters an email address that is exactly the same, that information will be merged into one contact record. If somebody has entered email address incorrectly and then they enter their email address correctly, you can go into those contact records and merge their two contact records if you want. Within that contact record, you can see all their data. You can go and change that data, so you can change their name, surname, email address, and anything else that you want to capture about them. You can also go and look at the change history of every single field and see who changed it and when they changed it. Within this view, just kind of like a Facebook timeline or a Twitter timeline, you can see everything in timeline format about this particular contact, when they first engage with you, which pages of the website they visited, what forms they've filled out, what social media they've clicked on, and so on. From the contact record, you can also add them to different lists. If you haven't done our lists training, go and look on our YouTube channel and do that training. You can also initiate workflows. So for example, you could have a phone call with a contact, go into their contact record and add them to the cold leads workflow, and so that they kind of get a couple emails from you over a couple of months because they are cold lead. Or you could add them to the hot leads workflow, and they could start getting nurtured a lot more aggressively. Sometimes people phone in and they say, please stop emailing me. So from the contact record, you can opt them out of all email. And lastly, you can communicate with a contact directly from a contact record. So you can email them from that contact record, personalized emails. You can call them if you have HubSpot call-in installed, and that also then records that call as an MP3 and stores it in the timeline. And you can record activities and tasks for that particular contact. Last of all, you can store attachments related to that contract, such as proposals and so on. So if you are working in a B2B environment, you'll obviously be working with companies as well as contacts, and you can have many contacts linked to a single company, and any kind of B2B buying cycle will mean that there are multiple contacts that are interested in different parts of your organization. The procurement person might be interested in your in some other certification that you have, whereas the actual engineer that wants to use your product may be interested in the pricing. So there is a setting within the within contact settings that first of all, should the lifecycle stage of a contact or a company, if it changes, should it sync to all other contacts and within the database? That's probably something that you want to do. So if a single contact becomes a customer, you want the company to be updated to be a customer and vice versa. Then secondly, if somebody creates a contact, fills out a form, and should that automatically go and create a company record based on the email address they provided? So if they have said kind of darren.smith@nestle.com, the system will pick up nestle.com and go and create Nestle as a company. And then it will look in the database and see, is there anybody else with the same kind of domain name Nestle, and it will link everybody together. So this is not foolproof, because someone might, for example, have an email address that's still Nestle, but a division of Nestle, and then it goes and creates another company record, and it gets confusing. Also, HubSpot does not know every single private ISP or free email domain. So you may, in an extreme example, everybody that has a Gmail email address all works for Google, essentially, which is not true. So a lot of that logic is built in, but it is not foolproof, and sometimes things do go wrong. So today we do not have a task for you, but we do want you to go over to office.mpool.com/academy-contacts, give us feedback on this short little training video. By doing that, you will also flag to us that you have completed this training, and so we can put you into the correct workflow to tell you what to do next.